Hey guys, it's Bailey. Welcome back to the channel and thanks so much for tuning in to what's going to be a video all about some skincare fails. If I suddenly start talking or like if my volume kind of goes up and down, I'm trying something new with the sound here. Normally I have my mic mounted on my camera in front of me, but between some issues like echoes and hums and buzzes, things like that, I decided to put it on a tripod on my desk, like literally a foot away from me. But as I'm talking, I can kind of see it clipping as I'm recording, so I want to make sure I don't like clip the microphone. You get like kind of buzzing and staticky in your ear. So I'm going to try and make sure I don't do that, but if I get like ASMR quiet, you'll know that's why. So bear with me as these changes are happening, but I'm trying to make the sound better. Alrighty, so into the skincare fails. As I was unpacking, a lot of you know I recently moved, hence the background change, but as I was unpacking, I'm going through these things like I haven't used them in forever, and it's because they either just don't do a whole lot for me or they flat out don't work and don't do what they say they should do for my skin. So I had to go through those. I have combo skin for reference, so what doesn't work for me may very well work for you if you have a different skin type. Just something to keep in mind as I'm going through all this. So with all that, don't forget to hit the subscribe button to join the Bailey Bunch, and let's go ahead and dive in. First, let's start with a product from e.l.f. This is their Nourishing Oil to Foam Cleanser. I think I bought this in my recent haul from them. I looked at the what's new. I'm big into going to the e.l.f. what's new section, and if they have new shades of things or just new products in general, pretty interested in trying those out. I think I bought this there, but I am also on their PR list. So either way, regardless of how it came to me, it's not for me. So the gist is that it's supposed to be this oil texture, but you can see even as I'm shaking it up as I'm talking right now, it foams. And so you pump it out in your hand, you rub your hands together, and it will gently foam. They're not like big sudsy bubbles, but it'll gently foam. And so when I first got this, I thought the benefit would be, you know, as an oil, it could help remove your eye makeup and make it easier to remove that really stay all day sort of makeup. And I didn't notice that was the case. Basically on my skin, this goes on as an oil and I scrub and scrub and scrub, especially around my eyes. And so that kind of gently foams it up. But then when I go and add the water, it'll foam up a little bit more even after that. And when I go to rinse it off, I still have residue, not only from the makeup that I had on, like mascara. If I use a primer for my eyeshadow, which I do pretty much every day, that will still be on. And then there's also some residue like on my forehead and stuff from foundation, stuff that pretty typically comes off no matter what cleanser I'm using, and then it still felt like a little bit of this oil residue was on there as well. So overall, it just didn't get my skin as clean as I would hope after one pass. I'm really not into having to go back and wash multiple times when I do have cleansers that do it all in one. Let's keep going down the road of cleansers. I have two from Pixi, and I know a lot of people will not agree with me here. Like I said, this is just my skin type, and maybe it's the makeup that I wear. And I'm also just upfront, not a huge double cleansing person or not a huge solid cleanser person or cleansing cream person. So that could also be a factor about why I don't like these two guys from Pixi. One is the Nourishing Cleansing Balm with sweet almond oil and cocoa butter. This is a solid cleanser, you can see here. This I just felt left a residue on my skin. It did a really good job at kind of moving my makeup around, like getting that stubborn mascara off. But then when I went to go actually wash it away, even with a washcloth, I still had kind of streaks of it around my eyes. So it just didn't totally get rid of that. Then the other cleanser I had from Pixi was the Double Cleanse, and this was their collaboration, or came from their collaboration with Carolyn Hirons. I know she's a skincare authority, and so that's why I wanted to again say that this is just how it performed for my skin, and also just how I like my skin feeling after a cleanse. I felt like this didn't completely remove all the product, especially around my eyes, and I understand that that is what an eye makeup remover is for, but when I have cleansers that will remove my eye makeup, it's just, it helps me minimize my skincare routine. So when something not only leaves a residue, but also leaves that eye makeup on, and then and on top of that, and this will not be the experience for everyone, I'm sure, it kind of made my eyes sting and burn a little bit while using it. It just overall wasn't for me. Now let's move into moisturizers. I have one here from L'Oreal. This was one of three they actually sent me from their new Hydra Genius line. I chose the one for oily skin. I think they have one for normal and dry, which I have not tried. I figured I'd go for the oily first since I have a combo skin type. And first off, it's pretty heavily fragrant. So if you have sensitive or easily sensitized skin, especially with allergies kind of going crazy right now, you might want to avoid this just to save yourself from any irritation you might experience from that fragrance. But also I just didn't find it was moisturizing enough, which is kind of saying something for me because I find I have to be pretty particular about how heavy my moisturizers are. But I would apply this and it would sink in immediately, which is great. I love that in a moisturizer, but it still left my skin feeling lacking, like wanting more. I particularly can tell on my forehead, especially when I have somewhat fine lines and when my skin is adequately moisturized, those will plump and fill in just fine. They won't completely disappear, but when they're especially dry, you can tell, and my makeup sinks into them and it's just kind of crease city, and that's kind of what I experienced here. So it's just not for me. If you have oily skin, maybe this will be the perfect one for you because I need a little bit more moisture, but yeah, it just doesn't work for me. And then watch out for that fragrance as well. The other moisturizer that's in here, and it's in here for the exact same reason, is from a brand called Wildflowers, and it's for sensitive skin. This was definitely sent to me because I had never heard of this brand otherwise, but it was from a PR package. And again, I was unpacking, came across it and thought, I'm gonna start using this. And so it's been, 2 weeks at this point using it daily, and it just doesn't moisturize my skin as much as my skin needs it. Unlike the L'Oreal though, it doesn't have a jelly texture, it's a cream texture, and it sinks into the skin really fast and almost leaves your skin a little bit tacky temporarily, which I thought might actually be great for foundation. Like, it's a great primer. And so even though it's not working for me now, I realize I've probably jumped the gun including it in a fails video, but I kind of want to continue using it through like the hot summer months here in Texas, just to see if maybe it will work as a makeup primer to help all that just stay and last a little bit longer on my skin. So you might actually see this again. I feel like I kind of jumped the gun here, but oh well. Last up is more of a body skincare item, and I was at the grocery store in the, bath and body and beauty aisle, and I just thought I'd like a bath bomb, but I didn't want to have to drive my butt all the way over to Lush. Plus, once you're in Lush, that's like asking for trouble because you never walk away with just one bath bomb. Am I right? So I was in the aisle and I came across, it was super hard to find them, by the way. I cannot believe someone hasn't gotten in on the grocery store market for bath bombs, but that's besides the point. I came across this from Village Naturals Aromatherapy. It's this guy. You can see I've only used one, and that's for good reason. It is the Double Butter Bath Melt with shea butter and cocoa butter, and understandably, it didn't have that foamy, fizzy sort of reaction, and I assume that's because of the more buttery texture, but it also just took forever to melt. When it did melt, I didn't notice it adding anything extra to my bath. It wasn't all that fragrant. It didn't really fill the room like the fragrance of a bath bomb or even a bath oil might. And then when I got out of the bath, I didn't feel like my skin was all that moisturized on top of how it would otherwise. So it didn't really enhance my bath experience the way I would have hoped. And so I would just recommend you save your money and put it towards an actual bath bomb or some other sort of bath product that you feel like really does something for you in your bath time. But that's it from me. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If any of these have worked for you, what your skin type is, what hasn't been working for you. Tell me all of it in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye guys.